1.4 million. What does this number represent? It represents the number of high school athletes injured between 2011 and 2012. As a strength and conditioning coach, then this number is pretty alarming to me, as one of my main priorities is keeping my athletes injury-free while performing at a high level. Now clearly, when a number like this is so high, it's pretty evident we should be looking at our programming and models we use for our programming. This is where I think NASM's optimum performance training model comes into play, as their base foundation phase is a stabilization phase. They also have strength and power phases which follow, but not before spending enough time building that solid foundation. I think right now a lot of strength and conditioning coaches are focused too much on the strength and power phase and not spending enough time creating a solid foundation that includes proper neuromuscular control, postural stability, fixing muscle imbalances, and dynamic joint stabilization, which is increasing an athlete's risk of injury because we're asking to perform these high loads and high force tasks with global muscles when their local muscles can't handle it. According to Hebbs et al., by neglecting the local muscles, force produced by the global muscles will be too great for the local muscles to control and leads to greater injury of risk. Leaton et al. Also found that 31 of 139 athletes suffered 48 back or lower extremity injuries during a season. These were track and basketball players. They identified that athletes who sustained an injury generally had poor core stability. This means that they may have had weak hip abduction or external rotation, which decreased their ability to maintain stability. Now, the NASM OPT model has a multi-intervention approach as it focuses on balance training, core training, resistance training, plyometric training, SAQ training, and also flexibility. Studies have shown that multi-intervention programs have been shown to reduce the risk of lower limb injuries by 39% and also acute injuries by 54%. And then ankle injuries or sprains by 50%. Myers et al. Also found that a comprehensive 6-week neuromuscular program designed for the prevention of lower extremity injuries can provide improvements to both performance and biomechanics, which means we can teach our athletes to slow down better, land from a jump better, or accelerate after decelerating. They found that athletes had up to 92% improvements in certain tasks such as vertical jump, single leg hop, speed test, bench press, squat, and even varus and valgus movements. So some coaches might say, oh, I don't have enough time to work on stabilization. I only have athletes for an hour a week. Research done by McGuire and Keene has found that as little as 10 minutes of balance training can help in reducing ankle injuries. So these are common non-contact injuries for our athletes. Furthermore, research done by Fife et al. Has shown that a 6-week neuromuscular control program consisting of both plyometric and strength training can lead to a decreased landing error scoring system, which is a sign of decreased risk of ACL injury. So in conclusion, our athletes have a high exposure to injury rates. We're talking 2.2 injuries per 1,000 exposures. Based on the OPT model, I believe that we may not be spending enough time on the stabilization phase. Spending enough time on the stabilization phase can lead to improved neuromuscular control, dynamic joint stability, and muscular balance for improved athletic performance and reducing the risk of non-contact injuries. Thank you.